Over the past week, the Detroit Lions have hosted their 2024 rookie minicamp, getting a good first look at not only the drafted players, but some of the undrafted free agents, as well as a number of players who showed up on a tryout basis from either smaller schools or players that just weren't the highest priority of undrafted rookie free agents. And today, we are going to take a look at the biggest takeaways and the biggest standouts from this last week of rookie minicamp, starting off with the newest rookie cornerback duo in Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. Now, for two players that were drafted at the same position, both drafted very highly, and both players realistically competing for the same spot in year one, they have developed a very close friendship and a very close relationship on the field, pushing themselves to be better every single day, having a positive yet competitive environment around the team, being very close, pushing themselves to be better every single day. And you could see it when they were doing their press conferences together, right? They were joking, they were having fun. And for two players competing at the same position, fighting for the same spot, fighting for the same playing time, that's not always the case. And I do think it's a very good sign of things to come for the Detroit Lions rookie duo. Eventually, I do believe they will both be boundary starting cornerbacks for the Detroit Lions, but the relationship very early on seems to be very positive for the football team and very positive for each other. Terrion Arnold, specifically during rookie minicamp, looked pretty much like exactly what the Lions wanted him to be. A smooth, fluid athlete, very sticky in coverage, great hips, great turning, great deep speed. He had an interception in 7-on-7s. He has sticky coverage. He's very tight on wide receivers. He is playing like a lockdown cornerback early, and it's very encouraging to see. Obviously, the interception that we all saw on Twitter and all saw on social media was really impressive, but there were a couple of other reps where his coverage was really tight, forced a scramble drill from the quarterback because the first read wasn't there, forced an incompletion because of his tight coverage. Overall, he is at a really strong start to rookie minicamp. And yeah, he's going against undrafted rookie free agent wide receivers, but it is still a good sign of things to come. The interception early is still a great thing to see. And I think that there are some really encouraging signs for Terrion Arnold very early on. And we'll get to see those things later on as he goes up against Amon-Ra St. Brown, as he goes up against Jameson Williams. We'll see him go against better, more veteran wide receivers. But as far as rookie minicamp, you can't ask for a better start from Terrion Arnold. And Ennis Rakestraw is in a very similar position. Now, Ennis Rakestraw is playing a little bit more of a versatile role, whereas Terrion Arnold is strictly on the boundary. Ennis Rakestraw has been playing both slot and boundary cornerback for the Detroit Lions in rookie minicamp, showing off that versatility, saying that he was able to actually play slot as a freshman in college, so he has that versatility, has that experience, is not afraid to step up to that challenge. But unfortunately, he has been limited in his snaps and has been limited in his usage. He did suffer an injury to end his 2023 campaign at Mizzou a season ago. I believe he had a core injury that only allowed him to play 9 games in the 2023 college football season. He did say during the pre-combine process, did say during the draft process that he was good to go, that he was okay, he was 100%, he could practice fully. But we know that the Detroit Lions like to take their time early. We like to take their time with injuries. They don't like to rush players back. And with well over 2 to 3 months to go before even the preseason begins, it makes a lot of sense for the Lions to kind of take Ennis along a little bit slower, make sure he's 100% ready to go. And again, he doesn't have a whole lot to prove at rookie minicamp, right? He's a guy that was drafted 61st overall. He's a player that's going to be here for a while. Giving him a couple extra weeks to recover, allowing him to kind of ease his way into things and kind of ease his way back from injury is not a bad thing. It is not necessarily a telltale that he is still hurt or can't do the things that the Lions need him to do in the future, but it is worthy of note that he is still taking limited snaps, whether it be precautionary or not. However, outside of the big two cornerbacks, the true star from rookie minicamp this year has been Sony Vaki. And I know it's been very early in the process. Again, this is a player that was drafted in the 4th round, going against undrafted rookie free agent guys and going against pretty much players that weren't drafted as highly as him, right? He was the 3rd player, I believe, drafted in the Detroit Lions draft class, meaning he should be a top 3 to 4 player at rookie minicamp. And he absolutely has been a standout on special teams, a star player from the gunner role, from the coverage positions, from everything that he's been asked to do, Sony Vaki has shined. He was a special team star. There were 3 different special team kickoff coverage reps in a row where not only did he beat his blocker pretty effortlessly, but he was the first player to make the tackle, the first player to make contact on the returner, and he was just arguably the best special teams player at camp over the last couple of days. His receiving ability as a running back was also very worthy of note. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about his rushing ability. I don't know how much he got as far as 7-on-7s. I don't know how much rushing he actually was able to do. But as far as his receiving ability out of the backfield, the ability to help the quarterback in sticky situations, it was said that Sony Vaki did not drop a pass throughout the entire week. Every time the ball went to him, the ball was caught. And every time the ball was in his hands, he made a play that was positive for the offense. So Sony Vaki, kind of a jack of all trades, a player that we don't quite know what role he's going to play this year in the Detroit Lions system, seems to be very versatile early, a guy that is standing out on special teams coverage, a guy that is standing out as a receiving role as a running back. And again, as Dan Campbell continues to talk about, just a player that is a football guy, a football player, a guy that continues over and over and over again to prove that he just likes to play football and he is just a good athlete. And that is the type of player that the Lions have in Sony Vaki, another standout from rookie minicamp. The only thing I have to say about Giovani Manu is that he is big. That is the consensus story coming out of camp is, yeah, you can say that he measures at 6'8", 330 pounds. Until you see him against other NFL caliber players, it doesn't quite understand how big Giovani Manu is. I mean, you'd put him against Christian Mahagi, another NFL caliber offensive guard, and he towers over people. He towers over Dan Campbell. He towers over the other offensive linemen in the group. Like, this is a guy that is just big and fast. He's moving really well in camp for a guy at his size. He's showing good strength. And there is obviously some work to be done. He is a very unpolished prospect as far as, prospects go. But as far as his physical ability and what Hank Fairley has to work with, again, you're talking about a 6'8", 330-pound offensive tackle that moves really quick, has a good first step for a guy of his size, is quick for a guy of his size, finishes plays really well, has a good mindset for run blocking and pass blocking. There is a lot of tools to work with, but again, in pass blocking drills, you could see that there was some work to be done. There was some developing that needed to be developed. And I do think that Hank Fairley does have a good project going. And I think that it's going to be really fun to see how Giovani Manu looks in the preseason and how he can develop over the next couple of years with the Detroit Lions as a depth offensive line behind one of the best units and best coaching staffs in the league. And then the last player we're going to take a look at today is 6th round selection, Mekhi Wingo. Now, Mekhi Wingo was getting a lot of looks as a 3-technique player, a lot of look in pass rushing situations, and he looked really natural at doing so. He looked quick, he looked twitchy, looked like the player he was at LSU before the injury. He was explosive, and he was really, really impressive. It was said that he didn't look out of place at all at the 3-technique, and he looked like a developed NFL veteran early on in training camp. Now, again, he's going against 4th round, 6th round guards. He's going against undrafted rookie free agents and coaches, but still, that quickness was on display, that explosiveness was on display, that twitchiness was on display, the pass rushing prowess was on display, and I do think that Mekhi Wingo has a good opportunity to join the Detroit Lions pass rush this season and potentially have an impact, right? Not as an early down run stopper. It was shown pretty early in camp that he's not going to be that very early, but as far as from a pass rushing standpoint solely, Mekhi Wingo looked really good, looked really flashy, looked really, really impressive, and a lot of coaching staff seemed to be very excited for the young pass rusher. But with all of that being said, that is all I really have from rookie minicamp. I couldn't find a whole lot of stories about the undrafted rookie free agent guys. It did seem like Maurice Norris was on tape quite a bit. He was always around the football. He was always around with Terrion Arnold. He was always making some solid plays in the videos in the background. Other than that, though, I really don't have a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot. I haven't heard a lot about Isaiah Williams. I haven't heard a whole lot about Kingsley Ebukam, I believe is how you say it, the center from Florida. I know that he is playing center while Duke Clemens is at left guard, and the center from Louisville is at right guard. That is something to keep a note, as well as those three centers. Kingsley is the guy playing center, while Duke Clemens and the Louisville center have both moved out to the guard position, getting some work there for a full offensive line. That is certainly something of note. But other than that, not a whole lot of other standouts, not a whole lot of other videos or clips coming out of rookie minicamp. I think we'll get a lot more as OTAs start to develop, as OTAs start to get around. I think we'll get a lot more from the rookies as well as the vets. But for now, that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you heard any other news, heard any other videos, or saw anything else, of course, let me know down in the comments below. But with all of that being said, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thank you all so very much for watching. And until next time, and as always, go Lions.